Let's get one thing straight. Highly sensitive people, HSP, are not fragile flowers. Nope. This isn't about being too emotional or easily stressed. It's about running on high-performance software that's constantly glitching, like your phone's battery on 3% with 10 apps open. The world thinks HSPs are just overreacting. Truth is, their brains are in overdrive, processing stimuli like a Formula One engine. The social mask is that they're just too much. But really, they're operating in 4K resolution while everyone else is chilling in 720p. Welcome to the realm where sensory saturation and cognitive friction are the norm. Ready to unlock the secret codes? So, what's the neural reality behind this high-octane processing? Imagine your brain as a nightclub with no bouncer. Every sensation, light, sound, emotion, walks right in, unfiltered. HSP brains have a lower baseline calibration. The volume is always turned up, and there's no mute button. The nervous system is a high-bandwidth data stream, constantly uploading and downloading sensory information. This makes them hyper-aware, but it's also a neurological tax. The brain is firing on all cylinders, but it's burning fuel fast. It's not sensitivity, it's sensory overload. It's not nerves, it's a high-speed data connection you didn't know you had. Now, let's talk about the fatal error. Unchecked sensitivity leads to system overload. Imagine a computer with too many open tabs. Eventually, it crashes. That's the HSP brain without management. The cognitive friction, constant multitasking of senses, turns into mental fatigue. It's an evolutionary trade-off. Heightened awareness at the cost of energy depletion. The brain, a relentless processor, can't handle infinite inputs without a reboot. The result? Emotional burnout masquerading as irritability or withdrawal. Without strategic calibration, the system's efficiency is compromised. Welcome to the edge of the cliff, where the fall seems inevitable. But is it? Here's the psychological pivot. This sensory saturation isn't just a burden, it's a compass. HSPs have a hidden leverage, a built-in radar for nuance and detail. While others miss the subtle shifts, HSPs detect the quiet whispers of reality. It's a high-tier evolutionary tool. Think of it as having a sixth sense that's always online. This hyper-awareness provides an edge in creativity, empathy, and intuition. The brain's architectural flaw is also its secret weapon. It's like having a GPS that not only shows the main roads but the hidden paths too. The challenge? Learning to navigate without burning out. The verdict? Recalibrate your internal protocol. To thrive, the HSP brain must learn the art of selective attention. It's not about shutting down the nightclub, it's about hiring a discerning bouncer. Prioritize stimuli, filter noise, and conserve energy. It's a game of strategic acceptance and mindful rejection. You don't need to engage with every pop-up alert in your mental dashboard. The goal isn't to mute the senses, but to master the volume control. With the right tuning, the HSP brain transforms from a glitchy system to a high-performance machine. Ready to optimize your neural software? Let's bust another myth. HSPs aren't just introverts with a flair for drama. The social mask paints them as hermits who can't handle the real world. But what's truly happening behind the curtain? It's like running a high-end computer with advanced graphics on a power-saving mode. You can't blame the system for needing a breather. Introverted or extroverted, the highly sensitive brain isn't about social withdrawal. It's about sensory conservation. It's a tactical retreat, not defeat. The external world thinks they're just shy or too quiet, but really, they're recalibrating for the next sensory wave. Ready to peek behind the mask? Dive into the neural circuitry, and you'll find a fascinating truth. The highly sensitive brain is a master of microdynamics. It's like having a super-sensitive radar that picks up on every emotional signal in the vicinity. This isn't just sensitivity, it's a full-blown sensory symphony. Every glance, every tone, every whisper is a note in the grand orchestra of awareness. This heightened sensory input creates a vivid internal landscape. But here's the catch. This radar doesn't come with an off switch. The brain becomes a perpetual motion machine, constantly decoding the world around it. It's an intricate dance of neurons and neurotransmitters, a high-wire act of perception. Now, let's confront the fatal error again: sensory overload leading to emotional gridlock. Picture this: the HSP brain as a city during rush hour with every traffic light stuck on green. Chaos, right? The constant influx of information creates a mental traffic jam where emotions pile up with no exit. The brain, overwhelmed and overstimulated, hits a cognitive roadblock. It's a neurological bottleneck, sensory inputs clashing, creating a cacophony of thoughts and feelings. Without intervention, this leads to emotional paralysis, where the brain is too swamped to process effectively. It's a vicious cycle of overactivation and under-recovery. Can you feel the gridlock easing yet? Enter the psychological pivot. This emotional gridlock is also a gateway to profound insight. The HSP brain's tendency to overanalyze is its superpower. Think of it as a mental magnifying glass, revealing the hidden details in the mundane. This hyperfocus allows for deep emotional intelligence and nuanced understanding. It's like having an internal sensor that detects undercurrents others miss. The trick? Transforming this from a hindrance into a tool. When harnessed correctly, this analytical prowess becomes a launchpad for creativity, innovation, and empathy. It's the art of turning sensory chaos into an insightful narrative. Ready to flip the script? The verdict: upgrade your neural operating system. Embrace the sensory flood, but install filters. It's time to build a cognitive firewall. Allow only the most vital stimuli to pass through. This is not about shrinking your world, but refining your focus. Implement an internal protocol of selective engagement. Consciously choose where to direct your mental bandwidth. The aim isn't to dull your senses, but to sharpen your perception strategically. By managing the sensory influx, you turn from an overwhelmed processor into a focused strategist, ready to deploy your internal upgrades and transform your cognitive landscape. Let's dismantle another misconception: that HSPs are emotional sponges soaking up everyone else's feelings. The social mask insists they're just too empathetic, but let's get real. It's not about emotions, it's about neurological resonance. Imagine your brain as a tuning fork, vibrating in response to every emotional frequency nearby. This isn't empathy, it's emotional acoustics. While the world labels them as overly emotional, the truth is their neurons are just highly responsive. They're not absorbing emotions, they're conducting them. It's not a flaw, it's a finely tuned instrument. Curious about how this emotional symphony plays out? In the neural reality, the HSP brain functions like a high-sensitivity camera, capturing every detail with crystal clarity. It's a world of vivid hues and rich textures, where the mundane becomes extraordinary. This heightened sensory processing isn't just a quirk, it's a high-resolution lens. Every experience is a vivid snapshot stored in the album of awareness. But here's the kicker: this camera never runs out of battery. It's a relentless observer, cataloging the world in high definition. This continuous capture mode is both a blessing and a curse, creating a mental library that's both expansive and exhausting. Ready to adjust the focus? The fatal error lurks in the shadows: sensory vigilance leading to cognitive fatigue. Imagine a security system that never sleeps, constantly scanning for threats. The HSP brain is on perpetual alert, its circuits humming with anticipation. This hypervigilance, while protective, can drain mental resources, leading to burnout. The brain is stuck in a loop of overawareness, where the sensors are always on high alert. It's a neurological short circuit, where the constant scanning turns into a stifling surveillance. Without strategic disengagement, the system is doomed to crash under its own weight. Can you hear the circuit breaker clicking yet? The psychological pivot reveals a hidden strength: sensory vigilance as a gateway to advanced pattern recognition. The HSP brain's constant scan mode is a treasure trove of insights. It's like having a neural algorithm that detects trends before they surface. This isn't just vigilance, it's predictive analytics. The ability to see connections others overlook is a powerful tool for innovation and foresight. It's the art of reading the undercurrents and predicting the tides. When harnessed, this trait becomes a strategic advantage, a sixth sense for navigating complex scenarios. Ready to unlock your predictive power? The verdict: optimize your neural circuitry for peak performance. It's time to implement a sensory triage system. Prioritize inputs, streamline processing, and conserve energy. Establish an internal protocol for sensory prioritization. This isn't about shutting down the system, but enhancing its efficiency. Learn to switch from high alert mode to strategic observation. It's about cultivating an internal rhythm where the brain can dance between vigilance and relaxation. By mastering this balance, you transform from a frazzled sensor to a refined strategist, ready to tune your brain for high-octane performance without the burnout. Let's tackle another fallacy: that HSPs are indecisive. The social mask says they're paralyzed by choices, but here's the neural truth. It's not indecision, it's comprehensive analysis. Picture a supercomputer evaluating every possible scenario before making a move. This isn't hesitation, it's strategic forethought. The HSP brain processes multiple dimensions of information, considering every variable. It's not about being stuck, it's about calculating the best possible outcome. While others leap, HSPs are crafting a master plan. Frustrated by the analysis paralysis? Time to see the genius behind the gears. In the neural reality, decision-making for HSPs is like solving a complex algorithm. The brain sifts through layers of data, each decision a multi-threaded process. It's a symphony of neurons firing in a carefully orchestrated sequence, weighing pros and cons with precision. This cognitive depth isn't a flaw, it's a masterclass in strategic thinking. The brain becomes a decision-making powerhouse, but here's the twist: it's a high-energy operation. This exhaustive processing can lead to analysis fatigue, where the mental CPU overheats. It's a delicate balance between thoroughness and efficiency. Ready to fine-tune your decision matrix? The fatal error in this realm: decision gridlock due to overanalysis. Imagine a traffic control system overwhelmed by data, every light flashing, but no clear path forward. The HSP brain can spiral into a loop of endless possibilities, where every option seems equally weighted. This cognitive stalemate is a neurological bottleneck, where decision fatigue sets in. The brain, burdened with too much data, stalls in a state of indecisiveness. It's a cycle of overcalculation and underaction, where potential is trapped in a web of doubt. Can you see the green light in the distance yet? Here's the psychological pivot. This exhaustive analysis is also a wellspring of innovation. The HSP brain's ability to consider multiple avenues is a creative goldmine. It's like having a mental blueprint for every scenario, a repository of potential breakthroughs. This isn't just indecision, it's a gateway to novel solutions. By embracing the flow of ideas, this trait becomes a catalyst for creativity and problem-solving. It's the art of transforming cognitive abundance into actionable insights. When harnessed, this analytical depth becomes a strategic tool for innovation and leadership. Ready to mine the depths of your creativity? The verdict: streamline your cognitive processes for agile decision-making. It's time to deploy a decision prioritization protocol. Focus on high-impact choices and simplify your mental algorithms. Establish a framework for rapid evaluation without sacrificing depth. This isn't about cutting corners. It's about refining your strategic edge. Learn to toggle between deep analysis and swift execution. It's the art of optimizing mental bandwidth, where the brain becomes a precision instrument. By mastering this cognitive dance, you shift from indecisive thinker to decisive innovator. Ready to accelerate your mental agility and unlock your decision-making potential? Time to dismantle the myth that HSPs are easily overwhelmed. The social mask labels them as frazzled by life's simplest demands. But here's the neural reality. It's not about being overwhelmed. It's about being hyper-attuned. Imagine your brain as a live-wire antenna, constantly buzzing with data. It's not frailty, it's high-frequency reception. The HSP brain tunes into subtleties others gloss over, a keen awareness that's both curse and gift. While the world sees them as overloaded, they're actually navigating a sea of rich detail. Frustrated by the static? Let's decode the signal. The neural reality is a tapestry of sensory inputs woven into a complex mental fabric. The HSP brain processes information like a high-speed loom, each thread a piece of the sensory puzzle. This intricate tapestry is not chaos. It's a masterpiece of neural connectivity. It's a dynamic interplay of sensory data, a symphony of information harmonizing in the mind. However, this high-speed weaving can lead to sensory tangles, where threads overlap and create mental knots. This is where the challenge lies, managing the delicate balance between detailed awareness and cognitive overload. Ready to unravel the knots? Here's the fatal error: sensory overload transformed into mental gridlock. Picture a control room with every alarm blaring simultaneously, each demanding immediate attention. The HSP brain can become trapped in a sensory loop, where the influx of data becomes paralyzing. It's a cognitive chokehold, a bottleneck where clarity is obscured by noise. This mental cacophony can lead to a shutdown, where processing halts in a bid for relief. Without strategic intervention, the system risks collapse under its own weight. Can you feel the alarms quieting down yet? The psychological pivot turns this sensory richness into a well of creativity and insight. The HSP brain's ability to perceive layers of detail is a fertile ground for innovation. It's like having an artist's palette, rich with colors and textures others can't see. This isn't just sensory overload. It's a gateway to imaginative exploration. When managed well, this trait fuels artistic expression and insightful discoveries. It's the art of transforming sensory complexity into creative brilliance. By embracing this richness, HSPs can turn potential chaos into a canvas of possibility. Ready to paint your masterpiece? The verdict: synchronize your sensory inputs for harmonious processing. Implement a sensory management system that filters and prioritizes stimuli. It's time to convert noise into a symphony of clarity. Develop an internal protocol for sensory regulation, allowing for focused engagement without drowning in detail. This isn't about tuning out the world. It's about tuning into what matters most. By mastering this sensory symphony, you shift from overwhelmed observer to poised conductor. It's the art of crafting your neural soundtrack, where the mind becomes a well-tuned orchestra, ready to conduct the symphony of your mind and unlock your sensory potential. Let's challenge another stereotype: that HSPs are simply too emotional. The social mass brands them as overly sentimental, but here's the neural truth. It's not emotional excess, it's emotional precision. Imagine your brain as a finely tuned instrument, calibrated to detect subtle emotional shifts. It's not about being swept away by feelings. It's about navigating the emotional landscape with acumen. The HSP brain processes emotions with the depth and nuance of a seasoned navigator at sea. Far from being a liability, this emotional acuity is a powerful tool for understanding the human condition. Curious about the emotional compass guiding their journey? In the neural reality, emotional processing in HSPs is like a multi-layered symphony, each feeling a distinct note in an intricate composition. The brain acts as an emotional soundboard, balancing and harmonizing complex emotional tones. This isn't just sensitivity, it's emotional sophistication. The HSP brain is adept at recognizing emotional nuances, crafting a rich tapestry of insights from the world around it. However, this depth can lead to emotional reverberations, where feelings echo and amplify, sometimes beyond control. Managing this requires a keen sense of emotional modulation. Ready to fine-tune your emotional resonance? The fatal error lies in unchecked emotional amplification, leading to emotional feedback loops. Picture a microphone too close to a speaker, resulting in a piercing feedback. The HSP brain, if left unmanaged, can spiral into cycles of emotional intensity, where feelings loop back on themselves, creating an emotional cacophony. It's a neurological echo chamber, where amplification turns into distortion. This feedback loop can lead to emotional exhaustion, where the brain becomes overwhelmed by its own circuitry. Without strategic modulation, the emotional landscape becomes treacherous terrain. Can you hear the feedback fading away yet? The psychological pivot transforms this emotional depth into a powerhouse of empathy and insight. The HSP brain's ability to feel deeply is a conduit for connection and understanding. It's like having an emotional radar, attuned to the subtle pulses of the human experience. This isn't just emotional sensitivity, it's a wellspring of empathy that can bridge divides and foster understanding. When channeled effectively, this emotional acumen becomes a catalyst for meaningful relationships and compassionate leadership. It's the art of turning emotional complexity into relational harmony. Ready to harness your emotional intelligence for greater impact? The verdict: calibrate your emotional sensitivity for balanced engagement. Establish an emotional regulation protocol that channels feelings into constructive pathways. It's time to transform emotional noise into a symphony of clarity. Develop an internal framework that allows for emotional expression without overwhelming the system. This isn't about silencing emotions, it's about orchestrating them into a cohesive narrative. By mastering emotional modulation, you shift from reactive responder to empathetic conductor. It's the art of crafting an emotional symphony, where the heart becomes a well-tuned instrument, ready to conduct the melodies of your mind and unlock your emotional potential. Another misconception to tackle: HSPs are seen as perpetual worriers. The social mask pegs them as anxiety-ridden, but the reality runs deeper. It's not worry, it's anticipatory analysis. Imagine your brain as a predictive model, constantly running simulations to prepare for any outcome. It's not anxiety, it's strategic foresight. The HSP brain evaluates scenarios with a precision akin to a chess grandmaster, always a few moves ahead. It's not about being stuck in fear. It's about crafting contingency plans with tactical precision. Overwhelmed by the simulations? Let's decode the strategic matrix. In the neural reality, this anticipatory processing is a dynamic mental exercise, akin to running mental drills. The brain acts as a strategic command center, constantly evaluating variables and potential outcomes. It's not just worry, it's cognitive agility. The HSP brain is adept at scenario analysis, crafting potential solutions for a myriad of possibilities. However, this constant simulation can lead to cognitive burnout, where the mental treadmill runs too fast for too long. It's a balance between preparation and over-preparation, where mental flexibility is key. Ready to optimize your strategic foresight? The fatal error: anticipatory analysis morphing into a cycle of mental paralysis. Picture a computer processing data at high speed, but unable to output results. The HSP brain can become trapped in a loop of overanalysis, where the flood of possibilities leads to decision paralysis. It's a cognitive quagmire, where too much foresight creates a mire of inaction. This loop can drain mental resources, leading to a state of analysis exhaustion, where clarity is clouded by complexity. Without intervention, the system risks stalling under its own weight. Can you feel the gears shifting back into motion yet? The psychological pivot reveals a powerful insight. This anticipatory skill is a cornerstone of innovation and resilience. The HSP brain's ability to foresee challenges is a foundation for adaptive thinking. It's like possessing a mental toolkit, filled with solutions before problems even arise. This isn't just foresight, it's strategic adaptability. By embracing this skill, HSPs turn potential anxiety into a reservoir of proactive solutions and resilience. It's the art of transforming foresight into foresightful action. When channeled correctly, this anticipatory acumen becomes a launchpad for innovation and growth. Ready to leverage your strategic insights for transformative impact? The verdict: refine your mental simulations for strategic clarity. Develop a foresight management protocol that prioritizes actionable insights over endless possibilities. It's time to convert anticipatory noise into a symphony of strategic clarity. Establish an internal framework for scenario evaluation, allowing for preparation without paralysis. This isn't about curtailing foresight, it's about harnessing it for decisive action. By mastering this balance, you shift from potential worrier to strategic visionary. It's the art of crafting your mental blueprint, where the mind becomes a strategic masterpiece, ready to orchestrate the future with precision and poise.